Yo, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching. Welcome to our Wisdom to Wealth workshop. Today will be phenomenal because I'm going to speak on how to be a person of value and communicate it well. So share this with someone who is wanting to grow in business, wanting to do something with their life that is and has significance. Um, and I'm very excited about today. So, oh my goodness, I'm about to share it really quickly. I didn't get a chance to do that. I forgot, but I'm gonna share it. So if I'm sharing it, I want you to share it too. Okay. All right. One, two. Join me. Join me. Okay. There we go. Boom. Here we go. Perfect. We're going somewhere. Today is going to be phenomenal. Join me now. Hey, there we go. Okay, today is going to be phenomenal. We are going to have a phenomenal conversation, and it's going to show you how to be even more effective in communicating your value. And I think this is a very important conversation because everybody needs to be able to tell somebody what they are and what they're able to do for someone else. And in interviews teach us how to do this, but most people fail in interviews because they don't know how to do this. When you go into an interview, you are going into a conversation of persuasion. Okay? You're going into a conversation of persuasion. You are trying to persuade the interviewers that you are the ideal candidate for the job, the position, and everything of that sort. Okay? So when you um go into interviews, it's not the time to tell them of your accolades or what you've done. It's more so your time to communicate how what you has done has impacted other people. Okay. So one of the questions that you always get in interviews is tell me your strengths. Now, that is not a question that is clear. It leaves room for ambiguity. The real question is what is or are some things or attributes of yourself that you have used that can impact the company and also has impacted other people in times past. Okay? So when the interviewer asks you, "What are your strengths?" Well, you might say, "I'm strong in communication." Well, how does that help me? It doesn't. You There are people who are good in communication, but how does your communication skills, how do your ability to write or speak or you know what I'm saying? You need to think bigger than just what is the question being asked. You have to ask yourself, what is the question that's not being asked? So when the interviewer asks you, what are your skills or what are your strengths? They're asking you, okay, what are some things about yourself that you are effective in, and what are the results that you've gotten for other people? And how can the results that you've gotten for other people, how can they be translated into the company at hand? Based upon the set problems that you are going to solve in your position. That's how you answer that question. Okay. Now, the question or the conversation that we're having today is how to be a person of value and be able to communicate it well. Okay. So now let's back up. What does it mean to be of value or a person of value? Number one, to be a person of value, you have to be a person of purpose. A purpose driven person is a person of value because they know why they do what they do. And the reason why they know what they do and why they do what they do is because they know that what they do can impact other people. So you can't be a person of value and not be a person of purpose at the same time. Am I making sense? So when I know what I'm supposed to be doing in my lifetime, it drives me to be able to do things of great capacity and of a great caliber and even of excellence because I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So to be a person of value, number one is to know what you are supposed to be doing in your lifetime. It's for you to know why you do what you do. It's for you to be somebody that can communicate why you were put on earth. If you ask me, I can tell you. And it can be translated into any type of conversation. What am I on earth for? Of course, to be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, have dominion. But what is my assignment? My purpose, my sole purpose is to be fruitful, multiply, subdue, replenish, have dominion, right? My assignment is to help people see the wealth within themselves. Because when you see the wealth within yourself, you treat yourself better. You treat other people better. You run your business better. You enter into career paths that are reflective of the nature already within you. Because if I teach you how to become, I'm teaching you how to be a more effective individual. The more effective you are as an individual, the better you are able to produce in life. Because here's the problem. We try to produce from the outside in, and that doesn't work. We can only produce from the inside out. Why? Because a tree is known by what is already within itself. So, in order to be effective, I have to be able to know why I've been put on earth and what my responsibility is while I'm here. Do you know this is why a lot of people right now have no sense of direction as it pertains to everything that they do? Whether they're in church, whether they're in business, whether they're in a specific career. If you're just doing it without purpose attached to it, it will exhaust you. Anything you do that you do not ascribe a purpose to is an open door to abuse and disappointment and frustration because the why behind everything gives it language and it gives it uh, life ultimately because there is nothing that is living that is without purpose. Is that clear? Now, to be a person of value, I want you to think about it like this. I want you to think about a house, a actual house. When you think about a house, if I just have a house with an infrastructure, And meaning like it has, y'all seen those mock-ups of houses where they just have the wood and all that stuff. If that's just that, there's no value attached to it. There is no value attached to a blueprint. None. There is no, I'm going to say it again. There is no value attached to a blueprint. When I start to add the drywall and I start to put form to the home and bring the home to life, now it has a perceived value. But the perceived value is only contingent upon where it's located. So if a home is beautiful, but it's in a neighborhood that is not so beautiful, its value may be great, but because it's in the wrong place, it's not deemed as valuable. For example, if I put a water bottle in the grocery store, it may cost $1. When I take it to the airport, it costs $5. It's the same water bottle, just in a different environment. So the perceived value is also based upon the neighborhood that you are connected to. Because you probably don't see your value because of who you're connected to. Your relationships reveal the value that you receive and the value that you distribute. There's a saying that says, birds of a feather flock together, right? Why is that a reality? Because you cannot be fruitful and the people around you not be fruitful. Meaning that you are connected to, how can I say this better? Okay. Who you're connected to is an indicator of a lot of things, and one of them is your income. Another thing will be your mindset. Another thing will be your value system. Another thing will be the way you perceive and view life. Every person that you connect and are in relationship with is going to be a reflection of the language, the mindset, the value system, the financial status, and the perspective of life amongst the crowd. Because here's the thing. If birds of a feather flock together is true, then I can also be around the right people and take on a new mindset. This is why exposure to places that are bigger than me impact the way I see things, because now I think bigger. I think based upon the connection that I'm connected to. I hope I'm making sense. Now, back to the house. The house is a blueprint. It's not valuable. Because a blueprint without a form, structure, without paint, without toilets, it's not valuable to someone else. However, it's not even the external things that makes a house valuable. If I paint the inside of the walls, if I take out the toilets, if I put new beds, if I furnish it properly, it now becomes and holds greater value. Meaning, if I am considered a house and I try to look good, but what comes out of me is not good for other people, then I'm not valuable. If what you say cannot be eaten of, I question the value that you carry. Let me give you an example. Solomon. The scripture says that Solomon, when he received the understanding heart and wisdom, the Bible calls him before Jesus, um, the wisest man in history. He's known for his wisdom. But he proved his wisdom in his content. He wrote psalms and songs, and he created content surrounded by or that revealed the wisdom that he carried about life, finances, relationships, things of that sort. But it was interesting that when the Queen of Sheba showed up and she proved him, meaning she tested his wisdom to see if it could work. What he said matched what he wore, meaning he looked the part, but he also could communicate and reveal the part as well. So Solomon was good in the way he looked, but he was even better in what he said. So what made Solomon valuable was in how he presented the wisdom that he carried. So this tells me something, that I can look good, but if my words are not good for consumption, I am not valuable. Mhm. Are your words consumable? Can people take your words and can they use your words to change their own lives? That is what makes a person valuable. Now, to be a person of value means that you, if you are a house, you are able to be used of people. Meaning people can utilize you and be benefited and be profited. If someone buys your house or buys your product or service, when they consume it, does it transform them? If I offered you a job, I'm going to give you a story. Y'all ready for this one? There was a young person who offered me an opportunity for me to pay them. He said, if you pay me this, I'll do this. And I had history with this young person. And what was interesting was they were asking me for money. And the heart was good in that they wanted to work for it. However, I didn't deem them as valuable. Not because I didn't think they were valuable, but I didn't think that what they had was valuable to me. How? And why can I say this? Because when I would ask them to do other stuff, they wouldn't complete the project. And I looked at them and I said, well, if you can't handle free well, why would I pay you? Why? It makes no sense for me to give you something else and require more accountability when what was free, you didn't do it. So I said, no, I don't want to hire you because you're going to frustrate me and you're going to make my life not easier. You're going to make it harder. Do you know what makes you valuable? When you can take the burden off of people. When you're thinking about your clients or your prospective customers or people who will buy your books or buy your courses or buy your programs, when you consider them, ask yourself, how can you remove the burden off of them? Because when you remove burdens off people, when you make their life a little easier, it causes them to want to pay you more. I was listening to Alex Hormozy one day, and he was talking about a gym experience. He was like, there are two types of people. And he was describing people who wanted bodies. And he was talking about a woman. He said, a woman can pay $95 a month for a personal trainer and a gym membership. Or she can pay $25,000 for a BBL. Now, I thought that was hilarious, the example that he used, but I understood why. Because it may take longer for the workouts to work. But if I go get a BBL, not me, if she goes to get a BBL, it's a faster process and a faster recovery process. Even if it's dangerous. So it wasn't the fear of danger that causes people to get these surgeries and all this stuff. It's the fact that they can get to a result faster than if they did it manually. So when you are considering who you're going to help, and when you're building out your offer like we talked about last week, consider to make it more value is to not add more stuff. To make it more value is actually to take away more stuff and accelerate their success. If I remove something from you, but I increase something that you actually desire, then I am becoming more valuable to you. People who want to be executive administrative assistants, who are you really? You are a person that removes the burden off of the leader or the visionary or the CEO. Okay? Now, so that was the BBL example. I hope y'all tracking with me. Yeah. All right. So I'm not telling you to go get a BBL. What I am telling you is to think like you're helping people get a BBL. Now let's capture this, right? What is it about a BBL that's so attractive to these people? It's quick. It requires no effort. It may cost more. However, the cost in comparison to the benefits of how I'm going to look with a bikini on, that outweighs the cost. So the perception of value is greater than the price. Would I rather pay $95 a month and it take a year, or would I rather pay $25,000 and it can take me a month to recover? What's greater? In my eyes, if I'm thinking like the person who wants a BBL, I'm going to go get the BBL. Because my perception is the process is quicker. What did I say? People want speed, convenience, and little to no effort. That's what makes you valuable. Okay. Now, to be a person of value means you are of use to somebody else. You are of great use to someone else. So, how do I communicate my value more effectively? Okay. So, when I'm working with clients, and if you're somebody who wants access to this on another level, what you should do is join my school group, Skill to Paid. It teaches you how to monetize your skill. Okay. But what I do when I'm helping people build a business, I have them do a skill audit. Now, where I'm going with you now is I'm about to help you be able to communicate your value. Okay. And a skill audit is basically you going back into your personal work and or volunteer history and seeing what are the things that you have successfully helped other people do, whether it be individuals or companies, whether it be your family members or your friend, whoever it is. Let's look at the history, because your business is going to be connected to something that you are already good at. I'm going to say it again. Your business is connected to something that you're already skilled in. You just don't know how to communicate it or translate it into something different. So your problem is not that you don't or you cannot attain or obtain skills. Your problem is not that you don't have skills. Your problem is not that you are short of skills or you are somebody who don't have a good experience. It's the fact that you don't know how to communicate it. Let me say that again for everybody who is in the front and the back. It's not that you are unskilled. It is that you don't know how to communicate your skills to someone so that they can see the value in what you bring with your skill set. Because just saying that you can communicate is not sufficient for me. Just saying that you are good with Excel does not help me do anything. How can you take your skill set and communicate what you have done for other people that benefits their organization or their life? That is how you communicate value. So when I help people, I say to them, okay, let's look at your work history, volunteer history. Let's look at your personal history. All of those are things that are important. Okay. And I want you to look and see, when you've helped people, what are the common denominators or the common threads amongst all of the people that you've helped? So, number one, you need to see what is the problem of this specific person. If it was a job, I used to work as a teller. Um, their problem was that they kept losing or having to fire tellers because they didn't know how to talk to the members. They're not called clients or customers at credit unions. They're called members. They didn't know how to talk to the members. So I have customer service. I have empathy. I have. I was a youth minister at the time. I had those types of skills. So how did I take my experience and communicate that best to them when I was in the interview? And then I'm gonna show you how to do this on the skill audit. I would say, okay, so definitely understand that customers or members can be very, very challenging. However, I remember a time when I actually I do remember this. There was a customer at McDonald's that I used to work at, and this customer was upset because whatever, his fries were cold or whatever. And instead of me getting mad with them, and instead of blaming it on someone else, I just took the blame. I said, I'm very sorry that this actually happened to you. Sometimes it can become busy, but that's not an excuse. What I'm gonna do for you, I'm gonna give you a larger fry. And is there any other like desserts that you would desire to have today? I'll even give you a complimentary one on me. It wasn't really on me, it was on the you know. So in my ability to do that, one of the things that I've learned how to do is de-escalate conflict and enraged people, because I know that the reason why they're here is because all they really want is their food, but they probably just had a bad day and they're just wanting to blame it on you. So in me being able to remember my history, I was able to communicate my ability to best serve people even when the people are mad. Now, how do I now bring this into a skill audit? That was a problem. My solution is a simple solution in de-escalation. It's called AIM. It's acknowledge, inform, and move on. Learn this in sales. I acknowledge. I completely understand. I apologize for how you felt and what you experienced in your service. This is not our natural or our common way of doing and practicing. It just sometimes things happen. You just so happen to be the person that it happened to. So we apologize. So I acknowledged, informed, and now here's what I'm going to do for you. You want a better fry? We'll replace your entire order. I moved on. Okay. So the skill at hand is de-escalation. My how is the value. How I did it for them. I use a method of 1, 2, and 3 that helps each and every person that I do this with. I do this even to this day. When people come to me with complaints about pastors and leaders and members, acknowledge, inform, move on. Because I understand that there's going to be other people that are going to need the same thing. That's going to happen again, and I want to make sure that the member services team doesn't have to hear about a bad experience because of me. So in what I'm going to help you do, I'm going to help you preserve your customers, your members, and I'm also going to make sure that they bring more money into this credit union. What is the value? Number 1, I know how to deal with people better. Number 2, I know how to make sure that they give you money. Number 3, I know how to make sure that this branch, the best branch, and they tell everybody about it. What did I just do? I communicated value. Does that make sense? So in the skill audit, the first part is what is I believe it's their dream outcome. When you do this with individuals, businesses, volunteers, or whatever, step 1 is, or the first box is who it is. Second box is what is their dream outcome. Um, the next box is what are the problems that they're facing. Um, the next box is what is your solution. The next box is what was the outcome of that solution. Doing this for over the last 3 years is why I'm still doing what I'm doing. I began to look at what I've done for people and what I've succeeded in. And what I've realized is I've realized that um I've been doing financial something for the last almost 10 years. Right? Now, depending upon who I want to work with is based upon my skill set, but also just my desire. So there's different parts of me. My main thing is I help people master money. And that's across all offers. What does money mastery look like? It looks like you know how to make it, you know how to manage it, you know how to multiply, and you know how to move it right. That's it. That's money mastery. Money mastery is what creates wealth for you. But you can't create wealth if you don't know how to. That's why I say wisdom is what creates wealth. Because wisdom is what? Skill. When I have wisdom, I then am able to create wealth because I know how. Okay? So, when you do your skill audit, you will begin to see a common what's the word? Thread or common, I don't want to say denominator, there's a word I'm looking for. Pattern. Mm. You will see a common pattern amongst all of the people that you worked with. And you will begin to say, okay, I need to enter into this or stay in this. Now, the problem is you have all these skills, but now you just don't know how to create an offer and communicate the value of the offer. So I'm going to just kind of go through an offer. Whose offer do I want to do? I do my own. All right, so I have a tax planning offer. When I did my analysis, one of the things I seen was there were people who both didn't understand taxes, but also they didn't know how to not pay them. Okay. So what I did was I wrote down all the problems my ideal audience had. Now, when you're choosing an audience, your audience has to be someone who is able to pay for what you want to pay or you want them to pay, but they're also someone who can. They're able to and they desire to. Okay. So I got my audience because my clients are generally people who are 6-figure clients or whatnot, 6 or 7-figure clients and everything like that. Cool. Now, part 2 is what are all their problems? I can list out them. Number 1, they have bad accounting. Number 2, they wait, before I even get to the problems, I go to the symptoms. My bad. What are their symptoms, rather? Okay. All of their symptoms are these. They are overpaying the IRS. They don't have an on-demand tax strategist. They have an accountant, but the accountant only shows up 2 times a year. They struggle with keeping their books and meeting deadlines. They're afraid January 1st when it's time to do taxes. They have a problem with the tax code because it's not understandable. They work with other people and they didn't actually help them. They also are busy. They also are busy people, so it's hard for them to run the business and worry about finances. So that's just 8. I could give you like 1, 2, 3, 4 more, and I usually use a rule of thumb of 12. All right. So then I find the common pattern in here amongst a lot of people is, do you have a tax strategist? The answer is no. That's the problem. But the bigger problem is you don't have a tax plan that the tax strategist can walk you throughout the year because you're busy. Okay, so now we have an offer. Because now we say, okay, I'm going to help 6 and 7-figure entrepreneurs who overpay the IRS $50,000 or more reduce and or eliminate their tax bill and create wealth even if they already have a CPA or accountant. That's my base offer. But what is the value of the offer? Now, if I'm saying my offer is $20,000 a year, why is that a justifiable offer? Here's how. You ready? Number one, you don't know what you're doing. So, in me thinking about you or considering what you're going to need, I say, okay, I'm going to offer a weekly coaching call that allows you to ask specific questions and you get on when you have time. I'm going to offer you a done for you tax plan. And it's done for you, meaning the implementation is already taken care of. You know what that does for you? That removes the hindrance of time. I'm going to help you save up to, if not greater than, the amount that you're going to pay. And I'm going to handle your accounting. I'm going to not just handle your accounting. I'm going to create you a form that every year, if you decide to not use us for tax preparation, that's fine. You will be able to take all of the things that I'm going to give you in a binder, in a what do you call that? A summary, so that when your tax professional does your taxes, they can do it seamlessly. I'm also going to give you the opportunity to do 1, 2, and 3. What am I doing? I'm communicating the value of the product or of the offer. Because in the offer, I am confronting all of the things that they want and also the things that they don't want. You busy? Okay, we'll do it for you. It's more expensive, but we'll do it for you. Oh, you don't have someone to do your bookkeeping? Oh, we'll handle that for you. So it's a one-stop shop in order to make sure that your financials are taken care of. And then if I wanted to take it a step further, I could say, are you having trouble with managing money, managing your cash flow, knowing what's coming, making sure bills are paid, all that stuff? If they say yes, okay. So the tax planning offer may not be for you. You may need another level offer. That costs a little bit more, but one thing about me or our company is you will be sure that your finances are taken care of every quarter and by the end of the year. What does that do for you? That gives you peace of mind. That gives you rest. That gives you confidence. That allows you to not worry when December 31st comes. That all these things that are in your mind, I'm giving you rest. What am I doing? I'm taking off the burden. So just because my price is $20, $30, $40,000, the value of my price is greater because I'm removing time from you. I'm sorry, I'm adding time to you. I'm removing the burdens off of you. I am giving you confidence. I'm settling your fears. I'm making sure that the IRS doesn't call you. What is that? All of these things are value. And so I say something like, if it were possible that we could create you a done for you tax plan, take care of your accounting and your bookkeeping, make sure that you're up to date, and all these different things. I go down the list of all the things that are in the offer. Would that be something that would benefit you? Okay, cool. What's your first and last name? No, can you spell out your first and last name? And here's where it gets good. When I list out all these, I say it's only $100,000 a year. How does that sound? You doing all this for only $100,000? Oh, I need to go over my price now. Because here's the thing. Can I tell you a secret? Stop basing your price off of what you believe or think people can afford. Did I say that too fast? I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Stop basing your price off of what you believe or what you think people can afford. Number one, assumption about people's pockets will keep you broke. When you assume that people, because they may look a certain way or whatever, you automatically kill the opportunity for wealth in you. Because assumption does not pay bills. Assumption creates ideas and thoughts that just are not necessarily true. So you go into a meeting already thinking that they can't afford it, and so you now um are limiting the conversation to to your perceived notion of their pockets instead of doing what you're supposed to do, and that is selling the solution, selling the value. There are more people that can afford it than you think. I'm gonna say that again. There are more people in the world that can afford your product, service, course, whatever it is, than you think. Do not be a person that bases your price off of what you think they can afford. And also, don't base your price off of what you, all right, what you can afford. Because here's the thing, people have a way of finding a way to make it happen. When value is in the picture, price does not matter. Let me give you an example. Do you realize that there are more people who are in poverty who buy cigarettes than people who have millions of dollars? Most of the people who buy cigarettes are not even middle class, they're in the lower classes because of the perceived value. Cigarettes ain't cheap. $20 a box. Imagine. And you smoking a pack a day, trying to keep the devil away. It's not working. Imagine you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. It's $20. Let me look up. Maybe I'm exaggerating. How much does a pack of Newports cost? Mm, with the menthols. Okay, they said it's about $8. Okay, hundreds. Okay, Newport hundreds, 20 count. Oh, they're $11.45. Let's do that math. $11.45 times 30 days. That's almost $400 a month on cigarettes. What did I just tell you? People can pay. People have the ability to pay more than you think. They just don't pay for what they don't think is valuable. And the reason why they don't think it's valuable is because of how it's being communicated. If you were to come to me and tell me, Jaquan, I'm going to systematize all of your companies to where all you need to do is host monthly meetings, but it costs you $3.2 billion. I'm going to find a way because I got other stuff to do. I got stuff to do. but that is deemed as valuable to me, which is why I say when we're talking about audience, your audience is important because when you're the money problems of a millionaire is not the same money problems as a 100,000-aire. People who are at the millionaire status are trying to get to multi-millionaire status, but without themselves. So their money problems are totally different. There are people who are trying to make six figures. Their money problems are different. There are people. So your audience matters. And if you don't pick the right audience and you pick the wrong price and the wrong audience, you are going to be frustrated because you are trying to give something to someone who don't want it. Which is why I say you only sell what people want and give them what they need. Am I clear? What and so when I'm meeting with people, that's why I say what is their desired outcome? What is their desired outcome? Because when you give them what they want and you communicate it in the way it makes sense to them, now you have a client. Now you have a paying customer. What is it that they want? More money, more time, better health, saved money, invested money. If you ask me what I want right now, I want to be able to do nothing but show up to meetings. So what do? Create systems. There are people who come to me and say, I want to restore my family. Okay, it costs you $20,000 to do. All right, cool. Because why? Money is a figment of our imagination. I want y'all, if y'all watching me, type that in the comments. Money, money, money. Money doesn't matter when value is present. Price doesn't matter when value is present. In the presence of value, it may, in a sense, cost me $50,000 out of my own pocket, but it's going to reward me $2.2 million. It may cost me $15,000, but it's going to reward me long life. It may cost me $2,000, $3,000, $50,000, but it's going to reward me a family that loves me. So when we're talking about this, you have to think about what is it that people actually want. You be like, well, they don't care. They don't want to care. Yeah, I know. They need these. They need these systems. They need this course. But that's not what's going to sell them. What's going to sell them is the result that you can get them. That is valuable. I always talk about when I was selling life insurance. I was selling it bad. I was selling bad. It wasn't until I started working at a call center that I actually learned how to sell. I worked at a call center and I was selling Medicare Advantage plans. This is around the time me and my wife got together. She was my girlfriend at this point. And they taught me a principle about selling that changed my life. they say, yeah, you have to go through all of the federally mandated things, but that's not what people are wanting to hear. When you do a discovery call, or when you do the discovery portion of the call, you need to see, why did they actually call you? So there will be people who are on Medicare and and only are getting $1,500 every month to pay their bills and get a $45 plan because it had dentures in it, or because they can go to whatever doctor they wanted to, or because they could have $300 every month in food delivery. Are y'all tracking with me? So what I learned is, in sales, it's not what they need that they care about, which is why needs-based businesses are good, but you have to understand that the need is the need that we know they need, but the want and the desire is what they actually desire to have in their outcomes. Somebody said, you need to start a needs-based business. Okay, great. But the need is not what's going to sell them. What's going to sell them is what they desire, and how I communicate what they desire they can get. That is how a needs-based business can be grown, developed, and scaled, because you are communicating to, yes, their needs, but even greater, you're communicating to their wants. Your offer, let me say it one more time. Your offer is the gap filler between their symptoms, problems, frustrations, fears, hesitations, all of their issues, and their desired outcome. In your sales, in your value, you have to communicate that your solution can get them to their desired outcome. No matter the cost, no matter any of those things, they are only concerned about if what you can do can actually help them. There is a saying that I want everybody to get in their brains when you are cultivating a business. If y'all don't know by now, I'm a master's degree individual. I have an MBA. I don't think that the MBA helped me entrepreneurially, but the MBA actually helped me from a operations, helped me understand organization, stuff like that. We never really got into the sales aspect in business school, but there was one professor that had us do a project, and the project was, we had to create a business. And in this, we had to know how to build a sales system. He said to me, or us, because this is a group, I think. He said, you need to remember one statement, and one statement only. You need to remember with them. What's in it for me? When you are building a business, when you are growing a business, when you are scaling, customers are always in mind, but you have to consider, what do they actually want? The customers that you desire to have, the customers that you want to attract, you need to know them. So once you have identified who they are, have you developed an actual picture of them? You need to know them intimately, because once you know, are they married? Are they black? Are they white? Are they single? Are they divorced? Are they gay? Are they straight? Are they Christian? Are they not Christian? This isn't a part of your marketing. This is a part of your ability to communicate to their needs and their actual wants. When you can get into the mind of, do you even know what their cologne is? Do you know what stores they go to? Do you know what podcasts they're listening to? Do you know where they're located? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Snapchat? Where are they? Because when you can know where they are, you can better market to the places that they're in. The senior citizens aren't on Instagram. If they are boomers, they're not on Instagram. There's a select few. All the boomers are on Facebook. Anybody between who's a millennial or what's the next generation? Z? Gen Z, all them jokers, they're on IG or TikTok. So in my marketing, when I've done my skill audit and I've identified who my person is, I now can go to the place that they're in and speak to them. So what am I doing now? I'm saving money on marketing because I know where my audience is. And then I create content that's connected to the audience. I have an audience. My audience is people who, there's a couple different divisions. There's the people who want to build, the people who are building, and the people who are ready to create legacy. These are the people who are already there. My price is not based upon what I think you can afford. My price is based upon the result that I believe that I can help you get. And if you put in the work, if you do what you're supposed to do, the results will speak for themselves. So in closing, how do you become a person of value and communicate it well? Do a skill audit. I'll never forget when I was in an interview and I could not tell them my statistics. I couldn't tell them who I've helped, what I've helped them do. I couldn't tell them no percentages, anything, because I just didn't know. There's a question a lot of men ask women. What is it that you bring to the table? For all my ladies out there, young ladies or older ladies, whoever you are, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're young, old, rich, or poor, whoever you are. Imagine going to that conversation and say, I built one. Imagine. Because here's the thing. You don't build anything off of hopes and dreams. It's built off of wisdom. What makes you valuable to a man and what makes you valuable to a woman is what you have the ability to build. I'll never forget when me and my beautiful wife of soon to be 4 years of marriage, 6 years together. I'll never forget. We sat at Longhorn. She calls it the Texas Longhorn. And we started talking vision. What do you see? What do you want to build in this life? Where do you want to go? And 4 years in almost, we are living a portion of the very things that we built and what we said. So The best way to create wealth is to be somebody who's wise. Your wisdom is evident in how you communicate your value. My name is Jaquan Gamble. I hope that this Wisdom to Wealth workshop has helped you learn how to become a person of value and be able to communicate it effectively so that you can get the results that you want, the life of your dreams, and never have worries for the rest of your days. I can't wait to see y'all this Saturday at noon. Peace.